Assalamu alaikum. Today I will present about designing an effective CV and cover letter. So first I will introduce about a CV and a cover letter, and then I will discuss the basics about a cover letter, and I will represent a sample cover letter. Next I will talk about the effective CV design and some CV samples. So, when you apply for an open position in any organization, employers require you to fill out a CV and submit it as a part of the application process. So, CV and cover letter are the essential parts of a job application process. Some companies also require you to send a cover letter with your CV to explain why you are qualified for that position. While a cover letter may be optional for some positions, I will recommend you, and it is always a good idea to include a cover letter with your application. CV and cover letter gives an insight of who you are. This is really important to make a good first impression. When you apply for a job, cover letter and CV are something which are responsible for your first impression. These documents give HR managers and potential employers their initial insight into who you are as a professional and an individual. So remember, every applicant is not invited to the interview. Only good applicants are invited. So now I will talk about the basics of a cover letter. The first thing is, what is a cover letter? A cover letter is a one-page message sent with an application that provides information about the position you are applying for, your qualifications in relation to that position, and why you are interested in working for that specific company. A well written cover letter can help you stand out from the rest of the applicants. How and why a cover letter is important? We all know that a CV is very important for the job search process, but it is not necessarily the most important document you will need to secure your interview. Many people believe that a strategically targeted cover letter is one of the most important weapons you need to win an interview. Some companies value cover letters more than others depending on the position you are applying for, but it is still an important tool for you to use that can help you get noticed and get an interview call. Cover letters give you the opportunity to elaborate on your story before getting the chance to interview with the hiring manager. While you get a chance to exhibit your qualifications for the job and explain what makes you fit for that particular job, and an employer gets to know more about your current situation through your cover letter. For example, if you have left a previous employer and are trying to start a new career path, or if you are an entry level employee who is looking to gain a professional experience, either way, a cover letter gives you the opportunity to define yourself and demonstrate what type of core values you can bring to the company. So, next is When you should submit a cover letter to the company. Number one, if the positions requires one. When you apply for a job, so it should state explicitly on the job application if you need to send a cover letter with your CV and application or not. If it says it's optional, even then I recommend you to send a cover letter along with your application. Next is if the employer requires one during the interview process. If you apply for a position without a cover letter and still get an interview, maybe the employer still want you to submit a cover letter so that he should pass the cover letter to the hiring manager for review. So this is a rare case, but it can still be possible. So you should always have a cover letter prepared for a position that even if it does not require one. Number three, if you know the name of the hiring manager. For example, if you are applying to a company and you know who is the hiring manager in that company, so you should address your cover letter to the hiring manager directly. An indirect referral might know the name of a hiring manager, which can help you address the right person. Means if you have a friend in that company or a colleague in that company, so he might know who is the hiring manager. So you directly name the hiring manager in your cover letter. Number four, if someone referred you to the position. So if you have a friend or a colleague or a say family member in a company working in a company and he referred you an open position in his company, so send your cover letter and CV to that person and he will forward your cover letter to the recruiter in human resource department or whoever is the hiring manager for their organization. So next is how to write a cover letter. Here I will discuss some basic steps to write a good cover letter. Number one is cover letter should be only one page in length. The heading of your cover letter and CV should be identical. Heading should include your name and contact information. So your cover letter and CV can be reunited if they get separated. Next one is use simple language. Use simple language and same font and style as your CV. Use a business format for dates and addressing your cover letter to the appropriate person. Next, about writing a cover letter, mostly cover letter should consist of three paragraphs. One is the opening paragraph, next is the job matching paragraph, and next is closing paragraph. You can also split the main paragraph, which is the job matching paragraph, into two paragraphs, but the basic is three paragraphs. So, what is the opening paragraph? What should opening paragraph consists of? It should mention the post you are applying for and why are you applying to that company and how you are suitable for that post. Do some research about the company and the post you're applying for and write something about the company in your opening paragraph. Number two is the job matching paragraph. This paragraph should consist of your qualities, qualifications, education, experience, and interests especially those that match the employer's needs. Do not write everything what you have already written in your CV. Do not write all the things in the cover letter. Only write those things that that match the post you are applying for. The job matching paragraph should tell the reader why he or she should be interested in you. If you want to appear as a perfect applicant, you should clearly mention your qualities which help you get that specific position. Additionally, cover letters should call out key parts of your CV that you want the employer to notice. The last is closing paragraph. This paragraph could be used to highlight a career achievement of particular relevance to the job. The last paragraph should bring the letter to a polite close, state that you are looking forward to meet with the recruiter. So here is a sample cover letter. So this is the heading which should include your name, your address and your contact number. And here you should write the name of the hiring manager, the company name and the company address. So this cover letter is a sample for an application for field engineering intern. So this is the subject. This is the opening paragraph, the first paragraph. This is the job matching paragraph, and the next one is the closing paragraph. So you can split this second paragraph into two paragraphs. It is okay, but your cover letter should not be more than one page. So next we will move forward to an effective CV design. What is a CV? A CV is a brief written statement of a job applicant's past employment history, education history, and other pertinent information. It is also known as a term resume, which is used primarily in America. So, how and why a CV is important? A CV acts as a bridge between you, the applicant, and the prospective recruiter. Hence, the importance of a CV can never be underestimated. So, to make the first impression, it is imperative that your CV stands out from the crowd. Since companies do not have much amount of time to interview each and every candidate, they require CVs from the candidates to select the best ones to work with them. CV offers a page or two where you can display your top skills and qualities. CVs also help employers making hiring decisions and help you get your first interview. That's why it matters how you structure your CV and what information you decide to include in your CV. How to design an effective CV? Mostly two types of CVs are used. One is the chronological order CV and the other is custom CV. Most of the CVs are chronological order CVs. It's a traditional way to put your most recent job at the top of your experience section. From there, experience goes in descending order. Chronological order CVs usually include work experience and education, both sorted by chronological order. Next one is the custom CV. A custom CV prioritizes relevant education and experience. This might be used by someone who is changing careers or new to the workforce or someone with gaps in their employment. It can also be used for people with a lot of exceptional experience in a specialized industry. Highlighting your most important and relevant career choice by choosing custom CV format may help you stand out from others. So, what steps you should take to design an effective CV? Number one is review industry leading examples. Reviewing examples of CVs in your industry, in the industry where you want to apply for a job, can inform you as to what's appropriate in that industry. For example, a CV of a marketer with bright colors, heavy photos, may not make sense for an executive in a manufacturing industry. So, understanding what's expected in your field of industry and position a vital step in knowing what is the best approach to formatting your CV. So, you should search on the internet what CV styles in your specific industry you need to adopt. Next is apply fonts that are professional. Consider fonts carefully. It is very important. Clean, clear fonts like Calibri, Arial, Times New Roman, or Helvetica work well on CVs. While you want your resume to stand out from the rest of the applicants, you need it to be clear to read to be well received. Use font size 10 to 12. Include relevant information in your CV. Your goal is to keep your CV brief. If possible, format it to fit on one page, and it should not go longer than 3 pages unless you have a very huge experience. Sticking to the most relevant information makes this possible. Hiring managers briefly skim resumes for the most relevant information, and having a clean, concise, relevant CV makes it possible for you to get an interview. Consider language, active language. What is active language? To keep your CV concise, focus on active language and reduce extra words. For example, instead of saying, I received the achievement of controller within 5 years of working for that company, say, achieved controller within 5 years. So you removed extra words and it makes your CV concise. Not only concise, but it also sticks out more to a hiring manager who may not spend much time reading each CV. Another concept which is vastly going on these days in most of the companies is robot scanning. The hiring managers don't have much time to read each CV, so robot scanning, they do robot scanning to filter out CVs which are most relevant to the job. So you should include words in your CV which will relate to the job description. It will help the robot scanning to search for those specific keywords, and they will select your CV or filter out your CV to get you an interview. Last step is proofread and make edits. Before you send a CV to any employer, always proofread for grammatical errors and typos. An edited CV with few mistakes will always make a good impression on potential employers and indicates that you are capable and pay attention to details. So always proofread your CV before sending. Now I will show you two CV samples. One is a, this is the CV of a person who is working in IT industry for 10 to 15 years, and the next CV is a template for which is good for fresh graduates. So here is the name of the applicant and his course certifications which are needed for the open position, the contact number, email address, and if you have some website or LinkedIn account or any professional account, so you can put it here. So here is a summary of yourself, your background. You can put it here in the summary. Next is the work history. So this is the work history in chronological order. Next, if you have certifications, so you can put those certifications here. Next is the education. So education is again in the chronological order here. Here is the work history where you can only put the names of the positions you were in any company and from when to when. But here you give the details, work experience, in the work experience section, you give the details of what you were responsible for doing for that company. So it is again in the same chronological order, and here you explain what you did in that company. So next is the product exposure. For example, you have worked in different companies on different projects. So you can put the details of the projects you had worked for different companies. You should put the details of those projects here. Like this person has worked on 3 or 4 different projects and he has written the details of the projects here. Next, specialized trainings. So many companies like telecom companies provide trainings to their employees. So you should put the details of those specialized trainings which you had completed in any company here. So this is also a good idea. Now, this is a CV sample, a one-page CV sample for fresh graduates. So here you should put your name, contact number, email address, and next is your objective, what you want to do as a professional. Next, you can put highlights of your qualification here, or you can remove this section, whatever you want. Both is okay. Next, if you have some internship experience or some other work experience, you can put it here in the work experience section. Next is the education history. You should put your education history in chronological order. Are if you have only a bachelor's degree, you can put your intermediate education as well. But if you have a master's degree or higher, so you should exclude the intermediate education. You should start from the bachelor's degree. Then here you can put some information about the final year project or thesis which you did in your bachelor's. Briefly explain here, not give too much information or big paragraph. Don't do this. Next, if you have any achievements or awards, if you were a part of any committee or any group in your educational institution, so you can put it here. Like if you are an IEEE student member, you can put it here. If you got any voluntary experience, you can put it here. So it is good to uh, put something in the achievements and awards section. So it indicates you are an active member. Next is references. If you have a reference, you can put it here. Otherwise, you can say references will be provided on request. So this is a one-page CV sample for a fresh graduate. So there are more templates on the internet, one-page CV templates. You can search, but make your CV simple. Do not add more images in your CV. Make it simple. So thank you. Any questions you can ask?